We'll start with your minivan. How about that?
Uh, I decided pretty much Monday I was gonna take the van to Spring X and worked on it after work all week. Had some friends come help me get it finished, and then I don't even think I made one hit.
Oh no. Oh no. Did it feel like people were gunning for you or just a bad hit?
No,
Bad hit.
no, everybody wanted to work with me, and because I was a one man team, and somebody just they were going across the track. Someone slid into them, sent them into me, and just broke my spindle in half.
Sure. So it was a team event?
Yeah,
You only had one just you solo?
yeah. I signed up with Jesus as my passenger.
Okay.
So,
How about Spring X as a whole? Other than the mini.
man, like I was getting nervous. Some of those heats were just getting wild.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't be able to tell that they were running heats. Most of the heats looked like a feature.
Yeah, that obviously that viral I don't know what heat it was in, but it maybe like a stock or super stock heat, that viral hit. I mean, that was pretty wild.
Yeah, one
Super
end of the
wild.
track to the other.
Yeah. And junked himself. And it looked like there's a lot of cars going still, so
When you get in the heat of the moment, it happens.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Uh how far of a drive was that for you?
2.5 hours.
Oh, not too bad then.
Like I told everybody, I said, if we run Friday night, I said, I'm driving home afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. So you drove home Friday yet then?
Yeah.
Or yeah.
I had
Also,
to be there Thursday for
oh,
inspection.
sure.
And then I got a hotel Thursday night. I didn't want to get a hotel for Friday night. So I just drove home.
Sure. Sure. How's the social media thing going? Looks like you're building, climbing, got more shirts coming out, growing.
Man, it seems like it's unreal sometimes
Yeah.
where I'm like, I can't believe like I'll sit there and I'll design a shirt and I'll look at my wife and I'll say, hey, can you make this happen? And she prints it out and then people buy it. And I'm like, well, makes me feel like I'm doing something right.
Right. Right. Yeah, I don't think people sometimes realize how much work goes into the social media game. I imagine you got probably countless hours in videos and things like that.
Yeah, we were talking about it today because she was like, I couldn't do what you do. She goes, I make the shirts, but it's your job to sell them. She goes, I
Right.
don't want to talk to people. She
Right.
goes, you can get out there and promote it and make it happen. And I was like, well, you got to if you want to sell shirts.
Right. Right. Well, not even the shirts, just building your brand in a sense,
Yeah.
building the Clutch name, the Clutch Motorsports,
Trying to stay
that's
relevant.
right. Yeah, without getting canceled
Yeah.
in today's cancel culture.
They had mentioned at Spring X, no one can go live on Facebook and all that. And we were the feature on Friday night. Minivans were the last thing. And I was
Yeah,
like, you know what? I'm going home after this. What are they gonna do? Tell me to leave? I was like, I'm going live from in the minivan.
I seen that.
Like I was climbing from the driver's seat over to the passenger side, kind of going back towards the back, and I'm was like,
Right.
let's just hang out in here and get the action up close.
Did anyone say anything to you about it?
They haven't. So
Went well then.
yeah.
So as far as your social media, what do you use the most as far as posting? Or do you kind of just one platform and spread it to all of them?
Well, I've been trying that more lately, trying to make one thing and then post it everywhere. But I was on TikTok for the most part, and then Facebook Reels came around. So
Sure.
I tried putting stuff over there. Well, then you got to play with the copyright rules because you can't post the songs like you do on TikTok on Facebook. So you kind of got to change your content up a little bit. And
Sure. Sure. I just started the TikTok game about 2 weeks ago, I think it was. So I don't know.
It's like I feel like they're throwing like spaghetti at a wall because I've spent 6 months making just one TikTok, just building a car from start to finish, doing it all in between, showing the end result. And that video got like 5,000 views.
Mm-hmm.
I screen recorded my YouTube while in the shower one night because I was like, you know what? I haven't posted on TikTok today.
Yeah.
Let me find something. So I recycled a video from my YouTube while in the shower, posted it, and it got 250,000 views. And I was like, I can't figure out what they want.
Yeah, no, it really does make no sense. It's kind of, I mean, I've only done a handful of videos now, but the ones that I've put time into get like no views. The ones, or I should say, yeah, the ones I put a little time and get no views. The ones that I put zero time into, basically like record as I'm doing and just post it. That's where I get my views. Makes zero sense in my opinion.
Yeah, I've been trying to do some of the TikTok live just to like talk to people and be like, hey, here's what we're doing. What do you guys think
Yep.
about this? So I've done that 2 or 3 times. I circled the pits at Spring X like 4 times while on TikTok live, and
Sure.
I'm like just showing people different cars and pointing out different types of bumpers and the things we do and why we do it. So
Do you think it's beneficial for you to be TikTok on or live on any platform? Do you get a lot of views when you do that?
I think total in the hour I was on TikTok live at Spring X, I think we got like 2 or 3 thousand views,
Sure.
and I think we had like 200 people commenting and asking questions and stuff. So maybe we introduced. I met one guy who was in New Zealand,
Oh, wow.
and now this is Friday. It's like 5 p.m. And he goes, "Hey, I'm in New Zealand," and I was like, "Hey, I'd like to come to New Zealand one day. You guys are right next to Australia." I was
Yeah.
like, he goes, "It's six a.m. Saturday in New Zealand," and I said, "Well, it's 5 p.m. in Illinois." I said, "How's the future looking?" You know, he's like, "It's all good." So I was like, "Well, you guys heard it here. We're good until the morning."
Right. So, how much are you posting? Do you post daily or is it
I
sporadic?
try to post daily, but it gets challenging, when life happens and you get stuck at work doing something.
Right.
So if I get the chance, I'll try to post daily or at least get enough content where I can throw something up. But
Sure. That's uh that's kind of my problem. I'm in too much of a hurry and then I do something and it's like, oh, should have videoed that, but
the
no.
greatest things happen when you're not filming.
Yeah, true. True.
The Wicked Team Show this year, I'm standing there and I look over and somebody's folding chair, their lawn chair, has fell into a fire pit and it's on fire.
Yeah.
And I looked over, I said, "Hey, your chair's on fire." So I go over there and I start to stomp it out. And one of the other vendors yells out, "Don't put it out with your boot, Fred." And I said, "Don't tell me my business, devil woman." It's the
Yeah.
scene from Billy Madison.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, nobody filmed that. I'm like, that was perfect.
Right.
But in my mind, I'm like, hey, there's a fire. I need to put this
Put it
out
out. Yeah.
instead of filming it.
Yeah, that's the other night I mounted up, I don't know, 8, 10 sets of tires. And I was like, wow, should have filmed some of it, but there's a lot of people don't, not that I'm great at it either, but a lot of people don't do that. So I don't know. There's always different things you think people know, but they actually don't know. So, you know,
How did those dirt bike tires mount up?
super easy. So after the 100 comments that I got on doing, how is that for you? Do you get a lot of negative feedback on your stuff? Not a lot, but you get
Honestly,
some.
most of the times I will glance at the comments just to see if anyone's asking questions.
Yeah.
But Joe Rogan like said it best. Don't read the comments.
Right.
Like there's so much negativity. People's going to tell you you're doing it wrong. You
Oh
don't put
yeah.
dirt bike tires on there. I like to find stuff out for myself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much I got a handful of those comments, and I made a video the other day with some 9 wire, and I got a handful of you're doing it wrong or it's not perfect. There was kind of like a bigger loop in one of the double strands. In my mind, I'm like, I care less. It's gonna get wrecked anyways. So, it doesn't have to look
So
perfect.
so when I did the 9 wire for my van, like
Yeah.
I did the back door, I had like 6 spots and I did it in probably 5 to 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when my wife comes out to do the 9 wire, she'll spend like 10 minutes on each
Strand.
single piece, but it looks a lot better.
Right.
But like it's gonna get wrecked. I'm in a hurry.
Yeah.
Throw it on and let's go.
Yeah, exactly. So there was some of those comments, but getting back to it, they mounted up really nice, ended up taking them back off, did the whole doubling and all that. Um, I had one of the probably most scary things happen. I tested out a few different tires and tube combos, and wanted to see how much air you could put in a dirt bike tube. Well, don't exceed 45 pounds. I got to
Wow.
50 and the whole tire blew up. Luckily, I had it on the rim clamp yet because like the belting of the tire and everything just exploded. It scared the shit out of me when I had my hand right there filling it up. But no, they were so far, I went and drove around in the yard and I haven't rolled a bead yet. So I guess try it out. Apparently it works. People use them. So one of those try it out for yourself type deals, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely interested to see how that works out for you.
Yeah. I was curious, is there a lot of vans that run rear bumpers? I mean, the van thing is pretty new to me. So I was trying to watch your video pretty hard to see how many people had bumpers on and how many didn't.
See, from what I could tell, a lot of people left them on, but I was treating the van just like I would like a mini car, like a W body,
Mm-hmm.
and I leave mine on just to keep the frame rails straight.
Sure.
But I know a lot of guys take theirs off on the back. So to me, the more metal you got, the better.
Yeah, that's, a lot of people I've talked to have been that they don't run rear bumpers, and I don't know. I've never ran something without a rear bumper, so it's just I kind of feel naked if I don't do it, if you know what I mean.
My biggest part was, do I leave the back door on or take it off? Because I
Yeah,
seen a mixture. So I met in the middle and I
I seen
sliced
that.
mine and folded it over. But I 100% recommend that's how you climb in and out. Go through the back.
Yeah.
So much more room.
Mounting the cage, mounting my gas tank, my everything, doing my 9 wire. That is so nice having that back hatch off. You just walk in the back and you do your thing and you walk out. That is convenient as all hell.
Yeah, the last thing we did, one of the sliding doors, that was the last thing we 9 wired. I said, leave it open so I can go through to get the cage in. Because
Yep. Yep.
with the newer vans, I'm learning once you kill the power to the sliding door, it doesn't open anymore.
Oh. Hmm.
Yeah, I spent about an hour trying to get a door to open before I realized, like, hey, it's all electronic and
Right.
you got to hot wire it.
Oh, shitty. So how's your podcast been going?
I didn't get to do one last week because
Yeah.
was trying to finish to get the van done. So the inspection for Spring X ended at 10:30 p.m. on Thursday. I got there at 10 p.m., unloaded and went through inspection, and I'm like, well, I'm here. That's all that
Right.
matters. So,
Right.
but yeah, it's definitely interesting. Like,
Yeah.
didn't think people would really want to listen to what I got to say, but I guess a handful of people do.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. And you can definitely tell, some episodes are better than others as far as, people wanting to watch them. I would think some should do better and they don't, but that's how life goes. Uh, in the coming months, I don't know, we got I think some good ones coming up. I guess we'll see what the consensus is after they go live, but not yeah, next week I fly out to Wisconsin. I'm gonna go to Amsoil headquarters and sit down with their CEO and do a podcast. That should be pretty sweet. So I don't know, trying to reach out to all these like motorsport individuals, but yet not just Derby, but people who could have some influence on the derby world, like oil products and things like that. So trying, it's a grind to do these podcasts. So we're obviously doing the visual too. So trying to get people lined up and dates and everything else, that gets tough.
Yeah, I'm still working on the visual portion of it because to sit there and talk by myself, like I will say
Yeah,
something. I never paid attention to like how I talk until
right,
you're sitting there listening to yourself back, and I'm like, I didn't like the way I said that. Let's
right,
redo it.
right.
So, I'll record myself 2 or 3 times just to get, one statement out. I'm like, man, I'm really messing this all up.
Yeah, I think sometimes a guy gets in his own head too. The first, say, 5 episodes I did, I got the headphones, so I hear myself talking. So it's like super, at first, yeah, you don't want to hear yourself. And I don't know. I feel like I've gotten pretty comfortable with just going with the flow now. Whatever is what it is. I guess if people want to comment about how I talk, well, whatever. There's
Like the
500 people that want to watch it. If the other 500 don't, I don't care.
yeah, the first two, I'm like trying to think about what I'm going to talk about. By the time I got to the third one, I'm like, hit play. Hey, what's up? Here's
Yep.
what's going on in the world. And
It's been an exciting journey though. We've met a lot of different people. Oh gosh, I've done a lot of traveling for it, so kind of, we're only halfway's in, so I should halfway's as far as a year goes. We've only been doing it for 6 months. So it'd be kind of exciting to see what the next 6 months brings and get to some more of these bigger shows and meet up with some more people. Um, I don't know. I know we talked last, but I can't remember if you said if you're coming up to Gold Rush or not.
I'm going to be at Blizzard Bash. I'll be in the limited weld singles. I think that's the week before.
Yeah.
And, I've been telling everybody, go ahead and bet the farm that this year I do better than I did last year. But then, this weekend I was in a minivan and I was out in under a minute again. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I won't beat my record, but I won't be in a minivan. I'll be in a Crown Vic. So
Yeah. I, and some of that's just like your minivan there. That's something you couldn't even have prevented, really. I mean, that's bad luck. Unfortunately, that's what it came down to for you.
the whole front suspension is aluminum. The whole rear axle is aluminum, and I'm debating on if it's even worth fixing or if I should just start over with a better one because it seems to be the caravans or what everybody's wanting.
Yeah, apparently that's what I have, but now I come to find out I have the not bad caravan, but I should have had like a newer style. I don't know. I have the old like a 96 model where it seems like everyone wants the '01 to '05 models. I don't know. Who would
Hey,
have,
you're gonna learn. You're gonna figure it out.
who would ever thought I was trying to figure out what years of vans I wanted? I would have never thought it would come to that.
Hey, that's what it's coming down to. We're leading the charge
Yep.
on minivans.
Yep. Someone's gotta. So I'll have to document the journey. Um, I don't know. I've done a lot of fab work to mine, so we'll see. I'm
So
assuming my rules were a little more forgiving than yours. I think yours were kind of a stock based rules. Sounded like
yeah, it was pretty much stock. Now, are you running a aftermarket shifter or a column shifter?
aftermarket.
Because this was my first derby with a column shifter.
Mm.
And once I seen the van coming for my tire, I couldn't find reverse fast enough.
Yeah. The problem we've had with the last couple of vans, the column shifters, the linkage down on the tranny is only held on by an O-ring. So if you're jamming gears hard enough, it'll pop that linkage right off. So that's the only reason I'm running aftermarket. It wasn't hard to hook up, just making brackets, like I'm using my aftermarket gas pedal. I don't know, I made all my own brackets, so I don't know. Sometimes I like doing that better than spending all the money on all the new stuff. So I don't know.
I was surprised at how much stuff they actually have for minivans already.
Yeah, I'll give NLR, well, that Indy CNC. They're all kind of leading the charge in the van stuff. It's where a lot of people are headed, and they're kind of staying up with it with the trend. So it's cool to see. I mean, the headers, and I think I seen Indy CNC has the strut spacers and shifter linkages and things like that. It's cool. It's cool to see. I mean, I made my own, but there's a lot of people that don't have time or want to just buy or whatever, which is perfectly fine. So, yeah, I don't know. It's cool to see all these vendors keep up with the sport as well. I mean, Jeffy's all of them. They keep evolving, trying new things, building new products, moving with us, which is fun to see too.
The amount of time and effort, they got to put into to keep up with this is just amazing.
Well, that's when we talked to XP Derby parts. That's what he said. He said just to make the die, for say bumper brackets or door skins, he's like, you got to have doors, you got to have frame rails, each frame rail, fresh frame rails for all these different cars. And he said it'll take a few nights in a metal brake, to get one just perfect, and then writing all the measurements down until you got it. So it's these guys got a lot of time involved into making these parts or even thinking about it. So
And then it gets, once you start doing that, it's going to hurt how much you get to run and, build your own stuff.
yeah, I don't know. I think there's still a lot of people that are intuitive, and I don't know. Sometimes if I have the metal laying around, I'll just try to make my own or work with what I got rather than buying. But I don't know. Time's a big factor for me these days. If it's gonna make it quicker, I might just buy it. Where this time around I had the time, kind of way ahead schedule. I'm like, I'm done, which is very rare. It's usually the week before, the night before that I finish. So like most everybody.
Oh, I was finishing mine at the track. I told them when I went through inspection, I said, don't stick me because I still have to cut my exhaust off. I'm
Yeah,
like, we still had the factory exhaust running all the way back. And I'm like, yeah,
sure.
I'm gonna do that when I get back.
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've done it, stay up till whatever, whenever to finish it, and then you're just dead tired the next day. That's for sure. So I seen you made a I think Facebook post today. What do you have 60,000 followers on, or is that across all of your platforms?
Across everything, I think we're looking almost at about 60,000. So
It's awesome. And
I'm
when
like,
did you start this whole journey?
uh, I started it, I want to say during the pandemic when they
Okay,
were telling everybody to stay home. And then TikTok said, hey, do you want to get paid to make videos? And I was like, that sounds kind of fun.
right. So you got about 2 years into it then, about.
Yeah. I was on TikTok before it was cool.
Yeah, I sent a coworker a video back when TikTok first came out, like I don't know, what was that, 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago? I have a video from when it first came out that me and him made at work, goofing off, of course. And we both joked, yeah, we should start making videos right away. Never did. Now look at the platform now. Not saying we would have been, got followers back then, but it would have had a better shot at it 4 years ago versus now. It's kind of, I feel like it's somewhat saturated. Everyone's trying to do the same thing, kind of. Everyone wants followers in some
It,
some shape or
it
form.
it's sad when you look at it and you're building a car or a van and
Hmm.
you're putting your blood and sweat and tears into your build. You get 20,000 followers or something like that. And then you just see a woman who only twerks in her videos with 2 million followers. It's like,
Yes.
how do I compete with that? I got a pair of shorts that I made, took a pair of pants, and I was like, do I need to put these on and stand in front of? I was like, what do I got to do to get me a million followers? Because it. They're getting paid a lot more than what I am.
Oh yeah, for sure. And they're getting all the brand deals and everything else. And yeah, it's all the time. The first few videos you that open up when you open the app, 600,000 likes on the videos plus, up to 1,000,000, 2,000,000. It's like, and sometimes they're just like nothing. I don't know how people like them. I just doesn't make sense. The algorithm doesn't make sense.
No. And like the live videos where like the one I keep seeing, it's some girl, she's hanging out, she's making like pottery,
Mm-hmm.
and she's it's a live video, and she's like, thank you for sending me the money and all that. And I was like, I'll go live for like 2 hours and I'll have like one person send a gift, or and I'm like, well, thanks.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I think I haven't looked in a while, but like, well, you had asked us about we got whatever. I wouldn't even say it's a brand deal, but we got a script from Spotify to read for our podcast, and we get paid per views or per listens, I should say. And I don't know. I think we made like $8 or something. It's wow. Maybe go buy a couple Mountain Dews later. That's about all I can get with it.
See, I was talking to my wife and I was like, we need to get this many followers so that we can get the monetization on Spotify. And then last week I said, I'm my own fucking business. I said I can monetize myself. I'm like, I can throw ads on there for my business. I'm like, why aren't we doing that?
Yep, absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Yeah, we've had a couple people reach out, but like they just don't really fit the platform. So like one was pest control, like how to get rid of flies and stuff. It's like, doesn't really jive, you know? So I don't know.
see, like, I don't know about your platform, but for like TikTok and like I've gotten messages on Instagram where people will message me and they're like, hey, we found your TikTok video. We'd like to pay you for the rights to use it. And the first time I was like, awesome, yeah, use it. Never seen any money. And then every time after that, I'm like, you know what, this kind of seems sketchy. I don't know what they're doing, how
Right.
much they're making. So I just keep telling everybody no.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I have you ever seen the um gonna mix his name up. What No Way guy? He basically went over all the life hack.
What? No way.
Yeah, that guy. So me and him were messaging back and forth last night, and I had told my wife like that's super rare because I think he's got a couple million followers. Usually for someone like that to message you back is like one in a million, it seems. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we get him on here in a couple weeks. So I don't know,
That'd
kind
be
of cool.
awesome.
Yeah, no, I've done a lot of cold emails, texts, you name it, messages on Instagram, Facebook. I don't know, just hope for a response from somebody at some point. So, or just don't
See, I
have
always try to
followers.
message. I try to message everybody back just because you never know what's going to help you.
Well, that was another question because there's been someone else that we reached out to, and it took a while for a response, and then whatever, it kind of faded out. And he kind of has a similar following to you. How many messages are you getting on like a daily, like between all your platforms? Are you getting a lot of messages or not really?
I'd say I probably get 5 to 10 messages a day, and a lot of it's just like I had a guy message me the other day, "Hey, have you ever built a 1969 Buick LeSabre?" And I was like, "No." And it's like it's weird messages like that. And I had a guy message me like last month, right after I built a van for Track Shot Live.
Mhm.
Someone messaged me and they're like, "Hey, I got this Honda Odyssey minivan. What should I do to it?" I'm like, "I'm not your guy." I'm like, "I've built
Right.
one van. It was gut and go. It didn't work good."
Yeah, I forgot to ask how that van ended up down at that event. There was this
Uh,
what Metalworks event that you brought that one to?
yeah, it was in Eaton, Ohio.
Yeah.
Uh, it was going good. Fatty was just going to trade some paint. and then he had the opportunity to full track someone in reverse, and he did. And then somebody did it to him, and it cleared the whole doghouse off.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. And he was pretty much over with after that.
Yep. He
Yeah.
said it was his first and last time in a minivan.
It can't be that bad. uh, yeah, I was always curious because some of these people have a similar to smaller following than like yourself, and I don't know, they don't message back. And there's a lot of times they read them, they don't message back, so they're seeing it. I mean, that's the crazy part. They should know that I can see when they open and read a message, but whatever.
So in 2019, Derby Life magazine, I was voted like the 10th most popular driver in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you know Lexi Droz, the girl that does Derby Life. Kind of
Yep.
cute,
Yeah.
kind of cute. She messages me and she's like, "Hey, you're the 10th most popular driver in the United States. I'd like to ask you some questions." And I see that I'm at work, and that pops up on my phone, and I'm like, "What the hell? Spammers trying to?" I was like, "You can't spam me." And usually, I got a good rate of telling people where to go and
Right.
what to do to themselves when they try to spam me. So I went back to work and I ended up opening the message up, and I did a little research, and I'm like, I think this is legit. And I'm like, I'm glad I didn't, go off on her or something.
Right.
And sometimes some people might be thinking it's a scam or, you know.
True. 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 Yeah, I always wonder. I try to write my messages so they seem somewhat genuine. Not that I sound like a AI robot messaging
Yeah.
them. Yeah, yeah, Lexi. I got a few messages out to her. Hopefully, maybe see her on here someday in the future. So I know that with the app rollout and stuff there for a while, they were pretty busy. So I don't know. I haven't really followed up on it. I know I downloaded the app, but hopefully it's working out how they intended it to or wanted it to. I don't know. Did you download the app, the Derby Life app?
I was gonna download it, and then they said wait until the next day, and I got busy building a van, so didn't
Haven't
get
yet.
get around to it yet.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I mean it's for a driver's sake, it's pretty neat. I mean, you can see all the different shows. I still don't know if it's going to be quite king yet as far as getting your announcements out. Um, I don't know. Seems like Facebook's the king for that. Where We Crash used to be, that you don't even hear about We Crash anymore.
I promote We Crash all the time.
Really?
Whenever someone messages me and they're like, "Hey, how should I build this car?" I tell them, "Go to We Crash. There's everything you could need to know about any car that you want to build." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Don't ask me because I don't know everything."
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, maybe people still do. I haven't been on We Crash in years and years. It's been a long time, but there was a lot of good stuff on there, and people for a long time used to update it pretty commonly. But I don't know if it still is like used like that or not.
I think there's like 5 guys still talking to each other on there.
Yeah.
But there's still tons of great information on there that
Oh
you can
yeah.
find and pictures and screenshots. Because me being Clutch Morals, I'm not going to comment on Facebook and ask someone to show me how to build a Toyota. I'd rather just go research it myself, and then we learn by trial and error.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I just kind of do how I think it'll work and hope that it does, and if it doesn't, well, then I know how to do it the next time. So. I don't
Yep.
know. These vans, there's really nothing you can do up front, anyways. There's not much you can do to save them. There's no room, and the frame rails are garbage thin. So
Drive backwards.
pretty much go backwards. Yeah, that's what I seen. Someone commented, I don't remember where it was, and said, "How do you build the front end of a van tough?" And I just commented back. It was kind of a smart ass remark, but I said, all I said was drive backwards. That's
Which
the truth.
any front wheel drive. That's
Yeah.
that's the key.
Yep. Yeah, I use the ass up because, boy, oh boy, there's not much front to use. And when you start using it, it's gonna go fast. So
The van I built for Track Shot, it was a 2005 Toyota Sienna, and the core support, it was like a 16th inch sheet metal all the way around the top. Like there was nothing holding
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. There's not much to them, that's for sure. And one of my teammates from Memorial, his has that oh, where the seats were in the floor. Call it
Cargo.
stowaway or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
stowaway seats. And where those seats laid, it's obviously indented down to the ground. It's just like thin aluminum, so it's pretty much like worthless, and you just kind of lost all that area. But I don't know. Whatever we can find, we'll wreck it. So yeah. So what's next? What are you gonna start building for next?
I was gonna build a minivan for a show in Michigan.
Hmm.
There's a bumper swap class where they're allowing mini cars and minivans. But after being out under a minute this past weekend, I think I'm going to build a W body because it's something I know.
Right.
It's where we started. I can build one of those in a weekend pretty much, and I feel like I can be competitive in
Right.
it.
Right. Right. Yeah. When is that show?
I think the first or second week in June.
Okay. I'll see you get a little time then.
It's like 9 hours is a long way to drive to be out fast in something that I don't know how to build it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm up against with this van, but it's all part of the experience.
Yeah.
And sometimes just the people you meet alone makes up for the trip. So we're gonna
Oh, everybody I met that ran in the minivan class at Spring X, everybody came up to me and they said, "You're by yourself?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "No, you're with us this weekend." And it got to a point, I'm like, I think I'm on every team on this track. And I was like, I'm not going to hit nobody. I'm like, y'all don't worry about me. I'm just going to drive it out and,
right.
just scrape paint. But everybody was nice. The guy that ended up hitting my tire apologized afterwards. He goes, "I didn't mean to hit you."
Yeah. Who did win it? Do you know?
I think his name was Devin. I know
Mm,
they called him Spidey. It was
sure.
his. I think he said it was his first time in a minivan.
Okay. Yeah, some of those guys are cruising pretty good in there. And from your
Oh,
live video.
yeah, one of them. He said he was going to play it smart, but halfway through, he turned that switch off, and he drove up underneath one of the other vans, and I was like, "Well, it's getting rowdy now."
Yeah. I always need a couple of them. They keep it interesting. That's for sure. Cool. Well, I'm not going to keep you any longer. Just figured we'd hop on. Uh, Wanted to get you in on a pod. I like to have backups, and like I said, I got in my opinion, a lot of big guests coming up. So I kind of wanted to put you in with the mix of what's going to happen here in the next few weeks, I suppose. Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, and you have a good rest of your night.
You too, man. Anytime.